Yeah. Do you have any Linux knowledge?
Yes, yeah. Even in my current project, all the deployments, it's on Linux. So basic commands like, mkdir, pscf, grep, what we use, sed, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
replace that way. But yeah, even in my current, we had a release a couple of weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to use Linux commands only for all the deployments, checking logs, everything. Yeah, I know Linux too.
Very good.
I use Mobile Xterm or Putty, mostly Mobile Xterm. It's the visual, the UI is good for Mobile Xterm, so I use that.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So here, so first of all, so let me introduce myself. I hope you have
Uh,
seen my introduction in my
yeah.
videos. Yeah, I have 23 years of total IT experience,
Oh, good.
and I have 10 plus years of experience in DevOps and various cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle, IBM Cloud. So even other cloud providers also. So I've been working. So usually I will not reveal this. So
Uh,
I'm working in Oracle as a technical lead
man,
consultant. So, so this is I love this the
DevOps.
technologies. Yeah, so that is the reason I'm not I was not ready to take that people management. So I don't want to go that side. So because
Same thing.
yeah, that is not safe actually.
Yeah, in TCS also we had layoffs last year. You must have heard. So
Uh,
most of the folks who were fired were into people management, but they were drawing large salaries. But as long as you are
yes.
billable or you are a technical, no worries, you are safe.
Yeah, exactly. So because somehow I just entered into this trainings. So even before starting this trainings officially, so I was not interested to give any KT to any of my
Uh-huh.
juniors and no, nothing. So before 10 years, I was, I'm just talking about. So,
Uh-huh.
but so there were some students who were coming from these colleges and from this
Uh-huh.
campus, no? So some
Yeah.
people were so very crazy. So my
Mhm.
managers were insisting me to just to give a training to
Uh-huh.
them. So train them to the just to make them ready. So they used to
Uh-huh.
give us some deadlines. So then I've just seen some lot of progress in my. So that is the reason I just started this trainings first.
Uh-huh.
Then managers, my colleagues were moving around this world and around companies. So then they suggested my name to give a corporate training to the freshers.
Uh-huh.
So if they want to build one team, DevOps team or cloud team, so then they used to contact me. Then I used to give a trainings for them
Uh-huh.
even across the globe. So even now also my permanent clients are Hexaware USA and Metrobank Philippines and Experian and IBM. So even though I worked in IBM, but still I'm getting trainings from IBM.
Uh-huh.
So this mostly I will be just giving this corporate trainings in US trainings.
Mhm.
So I have teaching experience, 10 plus years of teaching experience. I trained so even more than 10,000 students. So I used to
Oh,
teach, yeah, 200 plus students in a batch. So some institutes, so they'll be having 150 students, 200 students like that. So, but
uh-huh.
if you ask me about my personal batches, so I will not make anybody to wait for others
Uh,
joining or something. So for example, yesterday or day before yesterday, you contacted me. So I will
yeah.
start today. So then tomorrow, so if somebody comes and joins, so then I will just give an introduction. So if any two people or if any 10 people are in same pace, so then I will just merge in one batch. Then I will
Uh-huh.
just teach these topics. But for everyone, I will be available for 24 bar 7
Uh-huh.
for one-to-one mentorship. So for example, so today we're going to start your this one, our course.
Yep.
What I will do, first I will just explain that roadmap.
Uh-huh.
Then the roadmap is very, very important here. So because without roadmap, if you practice or
Yep.
if you learn these DevOps tools, so it will be very hard because DevOps is not a single tool. DevOps is a multiple tools.
Yeah.
So order is very important. So if you
Uh-huh.
learn in order, so then you will be very interesting. So I'm sure about that to learn and you're very curious to learn next tool, next tool. If
Yep.
you don't go in order, so you will
Uh-huh.
feel some difficulty. So in the
Yep.
middle of the course or in beginning of the course. But
Mhm.
luckily you have Linux knowledge and AWS knowledge. So then maybe you can just start directly DevOps concepts. So
Uh-huh.
that even though I will just give a clarity about this Linux and cloud. So what is
Yeah.
Linux? So because see, some people,
Yep.
even I worked in a Linux team as a Linux
Yeah.
admin. So I worked as a Linux team lead. So before this DevOps.
Uh-huh.
So, but most people who are having 5 or 6 years of experience in Linux, but so they don't know that basics. So they miss
Yeah.
to learn that basics because so what is the history of Linux? How
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
different distributions came into the picture. That means Ubuntu Linux, Red Hat Linux, and so Amazon Linux. Tomorrow, some other company will miss to develop their own Linux operating system. So then why how the commands all the commands are same in all distributions.
Uh-huh.
So for just to understand this, I will just explain this Linux topics. Also, I will just share some. If you want, you can just go through our videos. I will share that
Yes.
videos. Clearly, I explained
Uh,
even
yeah.
cloud.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
you can go through that because there is always something to learn. Even if I worked in Linux, I may not know the entire history.
Mm.
What I have not worked on Ubuntu, for example. So
Yes, yes,
Rel for the most part, it's always Red Hat.
yes. I've seen in a lot of people like that, so that confusion. And one more thing. First of all, we should we should be strong in basics for
Correct.
this, especially for this DevOps course, because
Uh-huh.
once you enter into the real-time project,
Mhm.
if everything goes smooth, you can just use DevOps tools. So it will be very easy. So once if
Uh-huh.
you understand the concepts, it's very easy.
Mhm.
As soon as everything is going smooth.
Mhm.
But if something goes wrong in your
Uh-huh.
project or in your day-to-day activities,
Mhm.
if you don't know the background process, so it will be very difficult. It will become very complicated. Things will
Uh-huh.
become very complicated because troubleshooting part is very hectic. It will become hectic if you don't know the background process. For example, if you enter one command, if you execute one command, if you
Uh-huh.
see that expected output from that command, you just feel good and your manager also appreciate.
Yes.
If something goes wrong, so that is our responsibility to troubleshoot and fix the issue. So
Yeah.
that there is no alternate. But
Yeah.
that time, if you don't know that background process, as soon
Mhm.
as you enter that command, what
Uh-huh.
happens in background, if you can understand that process, you can troubleshoot easily.
Mhm.
So that is one thing. And second thing is now AI world is going on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So you should use that AI tools.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
we should not scare about AI. We
Uh-huh.
should not fear about AI. So because AI will help us. If we know how to use AI tools, you no need to depend on anybody else. You can
Uh-huh.
just use AI tools. So that is the reason I will teach how to use AI tools in DevOps
Uh-huh.
project.
Yeah.
So yeah, these two things we need to concentrate. Troubleshooting, that
Correct.
means background process. So what happens in background when you enter the command? For example, if you enter mkdir space
Mhm.
Yogesh, so every you know that. So one folder will be created with the name of
Correct.
Yogesh, right?
Mhm. Yep.
As soon as you enter into
Mhm.
that command, if you get
Uh-huh.
any error
Correct.
or if
Mhm.
you get any something, it will throw that error log.
Uh-huh.
You should be able to understand that exact issue by going through that error log. If you want to understand that, you should know what happens in background when you enter that
Yeah.
mkdir command, right?
Mhm.
So
Correct.
same thing. So our course will be like that. So I will be teaching in that way.
Uh-huh.
And each and everything I will be explaining with real-time use cases. And I will
Uh-huh.
cover everything from basic to advanced level, from Git to
Uh-huh.
Kubernetes, Terraform, Ansible, and Grafana Prometheus monitoring tools and everything from code
Uh-huh.
to monitor.
Uh-huh.
That means
Yeah.
as soon as a Java developer, you know how development team works. So how developer will write the code,
Yeah.
how developer will share that code with the DevOps team. So
Correct.
we will just, even though you have an idea on that area, but I will cover as per my
Yeah. Yeah.
responsibility. I will just cover. Um, Before that, we will just discuss about this course structure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, since it's a weekends is very comfortable for you, so we will
Mhm.
be connecting weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So what timings is better for you?
Any, I mean, even 10, any, whatever your convenience. But after 10, I would prefer, I mean, it's up to you, but
Hmm.
about 10 is okay too. 10 is also okay.
10
10.
okay? Okay, fine. So we will connect from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah. 10
In
to 1.
middle, we can take a break. No
Yeah.
issues. And one more thing.
Uh-huh.
Every week, every Sunday,
Uh-huh.
so before winding up our call, I will
Uh-huh.
give some tasks. I will assign some
Uh-huh.
videos.
Uh-huh.
Whenever you get time in next
Uh-huh.
week, so Monday to Friday, you just
Uh-huh.
go through that videos and practice.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
if you don't complete, it's okay, no problem. But just try to complete.
Yeah.
So there is no deadline for you because we can't tell. So I can complete. So if anybody is
Mhm.
not having job, if anybody is not doing job, so I can give that timelines for them. But I cannot give timelines to you.
Oh, correct.
Because if you exhausted in office, so then you cannot work again
Uh-huh.
after coming to home. So that is the reason. Just try to complete those tasks every week. If you
Mhm.
don't complete, also just give me the progress. That's it.
Yeah. The good thing
And
for me is I work for a client which is
mm,
based in Australia.
mhm.
So when it's 12:30 over here, 1 o'clock, we are
Mhm.
almost free because it's 5:30 over there.
Oh, very
And
good.
that was also one reason why I selected the Southeast geography
Oh,
because,
mhm.
yeah, because of, the work-life balance. You are free in the
Mhm.
afternoon, then you get time to work on such
Yeah,
tasks, actually. Yeah.
yeah, that works. Fine. So, and yeah, and one more thing, whenever you are doing practice in weekdays, if you
Uh-huh.
get any doubt or if you stuck somewhere in while you're doing practicals, you no need to wait for next live session. You can just send me a WhatsApp message. You can just take a picture, image. You can just send
Uh-huh.
that image to me. So I will connect with you. Sometimes whenever if I'm busy with any client meeting or something, so then I will just tell the timings. After 2 hours, 3 hours, I can just connect. So this rarely it happens because usually I works in US timings for
Oh,
your
okay.
clients.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So my job is permanent work from home.
Oh,
And
oh, good.
also, yeah, and one more thing, so usually I will be, see, whenever I'm getting a new tasks from clients, as soon as
Uh-huh.
I receive, I will just prepare that one, what to say, how to, the task list. So
Yeah.
today, what is the task my team need to do, and so how to do it. So I will just prepare that document. I will just share with them. Then they will be working on it. So whenever they have doubt, then I will be connecting. So in same way, I will maintain these training programs also.
Uh-huh.
So from that area, I'm just copying. That's it.
Uh-huh.
So that is the reason from day one onwards, you can just feel like you are working in a real-time project as a real DevOps engineer.
Uh-huh.
So for any student, I will just tell this because you will be in that DevOps mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And one good thing is you are just trying to switch to DevOps in same company. So that
Yes.
also, yeah, that will never create tense or nervousness. So that is one thing. So because many people will just they'll be having some deadlines. So by this time I should switch to
Correct.
DevOps to another company because then they will just suspect something
Uh-huh.
layoffs or something sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So apart from all these things, so now, as 20 years of experience of a IT professional, you know everything. I don't need to explain these
Yeah.
general things so that layoffs and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
In fact, we have a requirement in our current project only.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, they have a very good DevOps. All our installations now, there is a directive from the top leadership. All
Mm-hmm.
installations, everything must be automated using DevOps, no manual installations, nothing. So they have created pipelines,
Mm-hmm.
CI/CD, and it's working very well. It's since it's automated, the leadership is also happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the directive is everything must be automated, nothing manual,
Oh,
using
very good.
said DevOps.
Very good. And one more thing, Yogesh ji,
Uh,
if you master in Kubernetes and Terraform and
mhm,
Jenkins,
mhm,
so you no need to change. We can just even you or me, we can
mhm.
just retire in DevOps. No need to switch technologies again and again.
Yeah,
So because this is not easy in this age to switch
correct,
technologies
correct.
again
Yeah,
and again. Yeah, we have
and
done. Yeah, please.
and they won't even consider resume considering age. You
Yeah,
know
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And one more thing. Just I'm just this is just my suggestion, that's it. So once you get a very good confidence, enough confidence after practicing this, even after 1 year. So because anyway, you are not going to try to switch to another company. You can
Yeah.
just start this trainings also.
Uh-huh.
So just a side
Yeah, yeah,
income,
you're saying.
just to create a side income. That's it.
Yeah. Within TCS, I've conducted TIPCO trainings because, I
Hmm.
was a part of Horizontal Center of Excellence within my organization. So
Hmm.
whenever there is a new project, right, there will be
Hmm.
freshers. So within organizations, we were required to
Hmm.
conduct trainings on TIPCO. But yeah, that was restricted to TIPCO only, 5 days
Hmm.
training, that's it.
Hmm.
But it's too fast.
Yeah.
Typically, they are not able to grasp freshers within 5 days.
Yeah, it will be like that only. Yeah, corporate trainings always because they will give 3 days also.
Yeah.
From this Monday for me, one training is going to start Hexaware
Uh,
USA. So that is 5 days training. So I
so,
just requested them. I just extended till 8 days. That's it.
uh,
Yeah, even if I get any corporate trainings, I'll be getting a lot of corporate trainings, but I don't have time to cover all the trainings. So if I get any from Mumbai or some your area, then I will refer you and I will help you out. Just
uh,
keep in mind. So just why I'm telling this is too early to tell all these plans, but only
yeah.
thing is why I'm telling when you're preparing when you're starting to prepare for this DevOps tools, you just concentrate in that area also.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that will be good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I've seen is, I was just going, doing some search for
Mhm.
the requirements. I've seen
Mhm.
Kubernetes has got a lot of, everywhere it's expected, a lot of opportunities in
Yes,
Kubernetes.
yes, yes. So here, if you master Kubernetes, you no need to change technology in 20
Yeah.
years minimum because Kubernetes is having a lot of advanced features, and without Kubernetes, so clients are not accepting these production deployments because every client needs this, want this zero downtime.
Yeah.
So zero downtime is possible, zero downtime or minimal downtime
Mhm.
is possible only with Kubernetes nowadays. And also one more thing, and roll back the changes. If something goes wrong in production deployment, so we used to, I think you know that. So even 20 years, at least some 15 years ago, if we any release, production release or something, we used to stay in office for 2 days also sometimes.
Yeah.
Remember, I think you know that
Correct, correct. Yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
If something
So,
goes wrong, it is too difficult to roll back that changes. We used to
yeah.
struggle a lot. So
Yep.
even literally client used to scold.
Scroll.
Even
Yep.
we used to scold our juniors to
Yeah.
learn because we don't have time and we don't have this one. There is no AI, nothing that time. Okay?
Yeah. In our
Yeah.
current releases to in production implementation plan, we
Mhm.
have a separate section for rollback.
Mhm.
What if something goes wrong? So we have to list the rollback steps too. And in UAT, we have to do a dry run of rollback,
Mhm.
assuming that, it may fail in production. So till that level, but it's manual. It's not
Yeah.
automated.
Okay. Yeah. But in Kubernetes, it's very much
Yeah.
possible. So you can just roll back the changes easily. And one more thing, auto scaling. So by using Kubernetes, you can just auto scale
Uh-huh.
based on the load. So Kubernetes will take care about that.
Mhm.
So these are the very important features and very useful features Kubernetes is having. So these features made Kubernetes a very popular deployment tool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So this is thing. So and also let me just explain about this course, DevOps course. Yeah, let me share my screen. Yeah, fine. So at very first, DevOps. What is DevOps? What is DevOps means? See, even now, many people who are having 5 years, 6 years of experience in IT. So everybody knows what developer will do, what development team will do. Everybody knows what testing team will do. Everybody knows what QA team will do and other team. Or they know about other teams and other areas. But most of the people even today doesn't know what exactly DevOps engineer will do. So DevOps engineers, his roles and responsibilities are a bit different than other teams because DevOps engineer can work in any project. in any technology. Java developer can work in only Java project. .NET developer will work in only .NET project. But DevOps engineer can work in any project irrespective of technologies because DevOps is not a programming language. So DevOps is not a database. So DevOps is not a something like a middleware. No. So DevOps is a mindset. So DevOps is a process. So DevOps is a set of practices. Finally, DevOps is a culture. This culture can be implemented in any project, irrespective of technologies. Also, DevOps can be implemented in existing projects or new projects. So, why should we use DevOps? So, why should we use DevOps and what are the advantages of DevOps? We should know first.
Mhm.
The first thing is, so first, DevOps means, first we'll just try to understand this. What is DevOps? DevOps, Dev plus Ops. Dev means development, Ops means operations. So it's a combination of development, it's a collaboration of development and operations. Why we are telling collaboration of development and operations? Only development and operations teams will be working in a project. Other teams also, a lot of teams will be working for on a software application. But development is a first technical stage in any project. First technical stage. If we talk about this SDLC, SDLC means software development lifecycle. In this SDLC steps we should know. First step is collecting
Mhm.
requirements. Second step is planning and are designing. Yeah. First, collecting requirements. So, what is this collecting requirements? Collecting requirements means if any client wants to develop their application, for example, you can just take Flipkart as an example. So, we all know what is Flipkart. Flipkart is a online shopping company. So, Flipkart will do online shopping business. If Flipkart wants to start their online shopping business, so what they need first, they need they have some requirements. So what are those requirements is first, so it's not a departmental store, it's not a provision store because so they will not purchase all these products and in wholesale and they will not keep in one area, in one place. No. So they will be having one online platform whenever you user no need to go to that area physically to area or shop physically, just users can book their products from their home itself. So for that they need one interface between users and Flipkart. So that is website, Flipkart website, because without Flipkart website, so we cannot purchase anything. So they need one website with some requirements. What are those requirements they need? They need search option, login option, and cart option, and payment gateway like this. There are a lot of features they need, a lot of options they need to
Mhm.
use this website to book their products. Fine. So that means this is one requirement. Website creation is one requirement. And second is mobile application. So like this, there are a lot of requirements will be there, but there are database servers and lot of infrastructure they require. But we're not going to discuss about all those things. So mainly they need one website with some features, search feature. For example, if we want to search for any particular mobile phone model, for example, iPhone model or Samsung phone model, we can just log into, open that website and we can just use that search option to search for this. And login option also will be there, but for normal users, it will not ask us to enter our credentials because authentication is not required for normal users for any Flipkart or Amazon. So these things. But for some users, it will ask login option, authentication, they will ask. Some users means who are having some special privileges and the people who are working in Flipkart project itself. So they need some authentication because they'll be having some extra privileges. As a normal user, we no need to give our credentials. Without giving credentials, we can just enter into that website and we can
Mhm.
purchase our products, whatever we need. So we all know about these things. Fine. And cart option. We know once we select any product, any mobile phone or something, we can just add that product into the cart. After adding into the cart, if really we need to purchase it, we want to purchase it, we will just click on that payment option, then we will pay the amount. In payment option also, we need some different modes, payment modes. You can pay by using debit card or credit card or net banking we can use or UPI methods also we can use. Even in such option also, I will just draw here and then I will just explain. So these are the requirements. Just keep in mind, these are the requirements for Flipkart people to start their online shopping business. Fine. As soon as they meet our team, so we just assume that we are working in a IT company. SR Tech is a IT company. We are from SR Tech. What Flipkart people will do, Flipkart people will meet this SR Tech team. Which team will meet? Business teams will meet. Business teams from Flipkart side and SR Tech side. Flipkart is a e-commerce. This company Flipkart will do this online shopping business, so they will have technical teams also. But in this particular meeting, business teams will involve from both sides. They will just give these requirements to SR Tech team. SR Tech team will collect the requirements from client. Our client is Flipkart here. Once we collect that requirements, what they will do? What are the requirements? A website and mobile application with some features. Fine. These business teams will sit with IT teams, that means technical teams, and they will plan accordingly. So what they will plan? For example, plan one. In this plan one, they will just plan like this. If we develop this product, if we develop this application in Java, we need 2 years of time and we need some 200 crores budget to complete this project. So time, budget, and everything. So manpower, infrastructure, how much infrastructure, then everything they will just plan in this stage. Same project, same application. If they want to go with .NET, so they need 1.5 years. They can just complete in 1.5 years, and they can complete in 150 crores. So like this, they will plan. They will just prepare some 10 plans, 5 plans, and then they will sit with again Flipkart team, and they will explain about these plans. Flipkart team will analyze, and they will just have a internal meetings, and they will just these people, SR Tech people will explain advantages, disadvantages, everything. If you go with the first plan, so these are the advantages, these are the disadvantages. If you go with the second plan, this is the advantages, these are the. So like this, they will explain about each and every plan. After listening everything, they will just take one decision. For example, if they want to go with plan one, that means if they want to develop their application in Java, they, they will just confirm this plan. This will happen in a second stage, planning stage. Fine. Once we get the confirmation from the client to go ahead and implement this plan. So what is the next stage? Implementation. What is the implementation here? We'll start writing the code. We'll start writing the code, coding or whatever. So who will start writing the code? Our development team will start writing the code. Yeah, Yogesh ji, got my point?
Yep, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our development team will start writing the code. Then again, after writing the code, so what is the next stage? Testing stage.
Yep.
Then what about next stage? Then deployment
Deployment.
or delivery. Yes. Deployment or delivery. There is a slight difference between deployment and delivery. I will just explain that. Yeah. After deployment, our job will not be over. So actual picture will start from there, because if something goes wrong in these areas, still you have time to correct it. So without business impact. But if something goes wrong after deployment, that means when your application is running in production environment, So it will impact on the business, which the client will never tolerate. So that is the reason we should be very careful after deployment. Very careful means what precautions we need to take. We need to monitor that application for about 24/7. That means monitoring stage, or we can just call it as a observability. Fine. Now, so these are the stages we need to follow for any project, irrespective of technologies. Either it can be Java project, it can be .NET, it can be something. We should follow these steps. Fine. So these are the basic. So irrespective of teams also, even DevOps team should follow this, development team, testing team, any company, any project should follow these SDLC steps, software development lifecycle. Fine. And here, why should we discuss this much about this SDLC now? What is the relation between SDLC and DevOps? There is a relation. So, because as a DevOps engineer, we should follow this. Same like development and other teams. Fine. But here, collecting requirements, planning or designing, these both stages will happen at very high level. That means business teams will involve in these two stages from both the sides, from IT company side and client side.
Yep.
Fine. But implementation is the first technical stage. Development team will start this stage. Fine. Once they start writing the code, then you know that as a Java developer, so some kind of testing will be done in development stage itself. So unit testing will be done in development stage itself. As soon as you write any program or any code, that basic testing will be done by developer only most of the times. Because if they don't test, it will go to testing phase and other stages. So then they will just come back to development team again. So just to avoid that, so that basic testing will be done in development stage itself. Fine. And testing people and deployment or delivery and monitoring. Fine. So now we have a clarity about this implementation stage, development team will do. So we have clarity about this testing stage also. Testing team will do this. Testing team will test that application or code by writing the test cases, and they will just follow some different strategies, testing strategies, and they will be testing that application until they reach zero bugs. Initially, they will get many bugs. So then they will be fixing one by one. They will keep on testing that application or code until they reach zero bugs. Once they reach zero bugs, it's a time to deploy. It's time to deliver that code into production environment. Fine. So yeah. So now till here we have clarity. But who will do this deployment and delivery? So earlier means some 15 years ago or 20 years ago, some of operations team members, some of SMEs in development team, some system admins. So different people used to involve from different teams. So all experienced people used to involve in this deployment stage or delivery stage. Fine. So before DevOps, I'm just talking. Fine. Once they deploy that application in production environment, monitoring part, who will take care about this monitoring? Operations teams. So first technical stage is development. Last stage is operations. Last, but actually it's not last. Again, circle will just move around like this. So again, new requirement will come, and development team will start writing the code for that new requirement, and testing team will do their testing. Then deployment monitoring, this one. Fine. But here, what was the challenges? You know that development team used to write the code, and they used to build the code. After writing the code, see, directly we cannot execute any Java code or some other code, except some, because we need to compile that code first. As soon as you write code in Java, we should compile it. Otherwise, machine will not understand that human understandable language, because any developer will write their code in English language. So, for example, Java developer will write like this: public void class or something like this. So if he execute this program, this code in their laptop or any machine, it will not understand because it's a human understandable language. It's an English language. So if you want to execute this, if you want to get the output, you should translate this human understandable language into machine understandable language. So that process is called compilation. Fine. So once you compile these programs, you will get a lot of class files. If you compile this .java files, you will get class files. But we cannot, if you execute some 1,000 .java files, you will get 1,000 class files. But if you want to deploy that class files, multiple class files in production environment, even in test environment, it's very difficult because if you miss any of that class files, so then it will impact on the entire this one application. So that was the reason we need to combine them and we should make it simple. This entire process is called build process. I will just explain that build process, but don't worry. Just at very high level, I'm just explaining now, just to make you understand what DevOps engineer will do exactly in their real-time projects. Fine. Then that build process also used to be done by development team because it's their responsibility. Because they are having coding knowledge, so they know how to build. If something goes wrong, they only knows how to fix it because they are having Java skills, programming knowledge. Fine, but it used to take a lot of time. For example, if they need 1 month of time to write the code, again 1 or 2 weeks of time to build that code, to do all other works. So in this area, DevOps team has come into the picture. So what DevOps team will do here? First of all, we should understand something. We should know something that DevOps engineer DevOps engineer will not be having these programming skills or coding knowledge. No. So it's not mandatory for DevOps engineers, DevOps team. If their own interest, they can learn programming. That's different, but it's not necessary. It's not required to have this one programming skills as a DevOps engineer. Fine. How, without Java knowledge, without this coding skills, how can he build that Java code? How can he build that Java programs? By using some build tools, he can just build that Java code. So some Maven kind of tool. Yogesh ji, have you ever used Maven? That time there was no Maven, I think. When you are working in development team, was there any Maven tool? No. Okay. Yeah. So now, so this build process can be done by DevOps team. So they can just save the time. I think Yogesh ji, you are speaking in mute, I think.
Uh,
Yeah. So was there any Maven tool, build tool when you were in development team? No, right?
no.
Yeah, recent times people are using Maven, not for complete build process, just
Uh,
for some processes they are using development team, even my development team also. Because when some 10, 12, 15 years ago, there was no Maven tool was
yeah.
using by development team. Yeah, fine. So by using Maven kind of tool, build tools the various build tools are available in market, but Maven is very popular for, especially for this Java projects. So because Maven also developed itself, it's developed in a Java. Fine. And that was the reason DevOps engineer can build this code by using Maven tool, even though he is not having a basic knowledge of this
Mhm.
programming. So that is the beauty. And also, if development team need 2 weeks of time to build that code, DevOps engineer can complete in 1 or 2 days. So
Yeah.
that is one thing we should remember. So in that area, DevOps team will help development team. Fine. In testing team, coming to testing team, once development team writes the code, if you give that code to the testing team, so as it is, they cannot do anything with that code because so. For example, if you build and if you just make that build, if you give that something like a Flipkart dot var means web archive war file is just assume that this is our final build. If you give this build to testing team to test it, they cannot do anything because we need to install this, we need to deploy this build or war file in environment, that means in a server or servers. For that, we need to install some prerequisites. Prerequisites means we need operating system and we need to install Java or JDK to run this
Mhm.
war file. And we need to use some application server, Tomcat kind of server, web application server, because if you
Yep.
want to run this application, you should have that. And so these are the prerequisites, basic prerequisites. So testing team cannot do that. So if they want to do, it will take a lot of time again. So some lot of challenges will be there. In that area, DevOps team will create the test environment and the DevOps team will deploy this build or war file in that test environment, and we will hand over that server or servers to testing team. Once we hand over, testing team will start test that application. Once they reach zero bugs, they will confirm that they will declare that code is stable or build is
Mhm.
stable. Then we need to take that out and DevOps team will do that deployment. So what is the difference between before DevOps and after DevOps, especially in deployment stage is we should understand this carefully. We used to uh, do this deployment stage with the help of developers, operations team members, and system admins, some etc. But
Yeah.
when you run this build or code in this test environment, it will work fine most of the times.
Mhm.
Same build if you deploy in production environment, so it will not. So some unknown issues may occur, some load issues may occur, some different versions also matter here. For example, if you use some like a JDK 17 here, so if and Tomcat ninth version here, so that 17th version of Java or JDK and ninth version of Tomcat will be compatible. So that was the reason it used to run in the
Okay.
test environment. But if you change that version also, sometimes it will not work. So they used to blame each other. Hey, it was working very good in my test environment. You have done something. So then developer will tell, hey, it was I tested that application in my system. It was working fine. You have done something. So like this blaming games were going on. And one more thing, um, so everything we used to do manually. There was no alternate, and it used to
Yeah.
take a lot of time. And if something goes wrong, it used to impact on the business directly. So there are a lot of challenges. When I need to explain, when I need to talk about all those things, you have seen that.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, that just to avoid such kind of issues, just to overcome that challenges, DevOps team has come into the picture
Yeah.
by using Kubernetes kind of deployment tools. We can deploy easily in production environment, compare with the previous times. And also, one more thing here we should remember, these Kubernetes kind of tools can be used by only DevOps engineers, because no one can use that Kubernetes tools in deployment directly. We should learn that tool, and we should use in test environment first. Then we should have some experience with that Kubernetes kind of tool, because if something goes wrong in production environment, again it will be crime. So that is the reason. So first we should learn that Kubernetes kind of tool. So DevOps engineer is a expert. DevOps engineer is a admin for that Kubernetes tool. So that is
Mhm.
the reason. So DevOps team is very important. It is playing major roles in all production environments and even all each and every project nowadays. Because without DevOps team, even clients are not accepting these production deployments. Because if some, you see, for example, if you want to make any changes in production environment, so we should raise a task, we should raise a change. So we should get approvals to work with that task from the client. Without Kubernetes, even people are not getting that approvals. So even everybody is using Kubernetes. Everybody started. So even before 6 7 years,
Uh-huh.
6 years ago also, DevOps was an option, but DevOps is mandatory now. So
Yeah.
DevOps is mandatory now. So and that's where we use Kubernetes, and we'll go deep in that Kubernetes and other tools when it comes. But at a very high level, we should understand this, where how DevOps engineer will help project to deploy this application. Yeah, fine. Once you deploy, so then operations teams will be monitoring that application for 24/7. And if something goes wrong, they will escalate and they will just connect with concerned teams and they will just get that done. Fine. So again, new feature comes, then development team will write the code, again, testing team. So this is the cycle actually. And here we should understand something. First technical stage is development, last technical stage is operations. So that means a DevOps team will involve in all the stages from beginning to ending. So that is the reason we can just mix these two words, dev plus ops, dev plus ops. In between, all other teams will be there. So why I'm just explaining Dev plus Ops means not only it's collaborating not only with the development and operations, it will be collaborating with all the teams. Fine. So that means DevOps engineer or DevOps team will involve in all the stages, but we should know how DevOps team will involve and how we will help to other teams. We will understand slowly. Fine. So here majorly, DevOps team will help. DevOps team will automate entire process.
Mhm.
Will automate entire process. So what is the process first? We will see. Now, let me just, I will just explain all these things with single diagram. Yeah, this is development team. Development team will write the code. Once they write the code, so they need to share that code with DevOps team. Why they need to share with DevOps team means, so just now we discussed, DevOps team will help development team in build process. So that is the reason they should share. They will just share this code with the DevOps team with help of some tool like a
Mhm.
Git. Yeah, this is version control system. We can call it as a version control system. I will just explain very clearly why we will call version control system and why should we use this Git only. Why can't we use normal server? So then what is the importance of Git? And apart from this development team and DevOps team, who will use Git? So everything we will just go in detail. That's okay. But first, let us understand what's okay. Yeah, they will just push their code into this Git server, Git repository. Repository means folder. If we create one folder in our normal server, that is folder. If you create one folder in a Git server, we will call it as a repository, Git repository. Fine. Once development team push their code into Git repository, from there DevOps engineer will clone. Clone means download. We will clone that code and we will build that code and we will deploy in a test environment server. So this is the
Mhm.
test environment server. Fine. And testing team will work on it. Once they reach zero bugs, they will deploy in a production environment. So this is the end-to-end process at very high level. Yeah, that flow, we should understand that flow. Here, one more thing, Yogesh ji, you should remember.
Mhm.
So many people think that DevOps is a tools. If you
Mhm.
learn DevOps tools, that means they think that they learned DevOps. No, so they can't crack interview with that DevOps tools
Oh,
by learning tools because DevOps interviewer will never ask the questions from tools directly.
uh-huh.
Interviewer will expect that end-to-end process because
Yeah.
by learning tools is very easy because most of the tools are very small in DevOps. Git is very small, Maven is very small, and Docker also small, and even Ansible, Terraform also it's not that much big. If you understand, you can just. But if you don't know how to use these tools in real life project, and if you don't know how to automate the process by using these tools, if you don't know where to use these tools, so it will be difficult. So that
Uh-huh.
is the reason. First, we should learn the tools. While you are learning tools itself, we should go in one flow. For example, we will just take one code, Java code, which was written by this development team. This is the dev team. And as a developer, how this guy will use this Git and how he will push that code into. Git repository, we will be doing that.
Mhm.
We will be learning that. That means we will be playing development role also. Then only we
Yeah.
can understand that Git. Fine. Once he move his code means the .java files, for example, .java files. Once he write Java code in .java files, he will just push them to Git repository.
Mhm.
Fine. Just we will name this repository as a Flipkart. Every Git repository will have extension .git. Fine. Now, as a DevOps engineer, we will clone it. Once you clone this repository, so whatever data, whatever Java files, whatever data is there, so that will come here. So actually, this is DevOps team, and we will clone this .java files. Fine. Once we clone, we will just build that code, Java code, which is inside this .java files by using Maven tool. Maven is a build tool. And before that, if you want to clone this repository, that means if you want to talk with this Git repository, we should have Git here. Without Git in our local machine, we cannot communicate with that Git repositories.
Yeah.
So we cannot this is also Git server. So this
Mhm.
here, if you install Git, that will become Git server. That's it. But there is another concept called GitHub. I will just explain in a Git session what is the
Mhm.
difference between Git and GitHub, and why should we use GitHub, and how to use GitHub, how to create a free account in GitHub. So we will be using throughout course that Git
Yeah.
repositories and a GitHub account. Fine. Here yeah, we will just generate a build. So just assume that flipkart.war file. War file, I will explain how to create these war files and everything. So this is the output of the build process. So
Mhm.
once you build the code, you will get this output, war file or jar file, whatever.
Yeah.
Fine. Based on the requirement, developer will suggest. So even developer will give instructions to Maven which file they need, war file or jar file and what. So that we will just understand later. Yeah, fine. So then once we build this code, we will get this build. The build name is war file. This is flipkart.war file. Then what next? Next, we need to deploy that build in a test environment server. So this is a test environment server. Here, what we will do, we will use EC2 instances for this test environment, for this DevOps mission also, even for development mission. For all the machines, we will be using our AWS cloud.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to learn AWS. Okay, fine. So we will create one more EC2 instance, and that EC2 instance, anyway, we will be having operating system.
Mhm.
Uh, Operating system can be anything. Operating system can be Red Hat Linux, or it can be Windows, it can be Ubuntu, it can be Amazon Linux, anything. But I will just explain the differences among the different operating systems. Then you will understand why we'll use Ubuntu here, why we'll use Red Hat in real-time projects. What is the difference between Ubuntu and Red Hat? And should we learn separately Ubuntu and Red Hat? So everything you will get a clear picture. Don't worry about that. But anyway, we need one operating system here. Without operating system, we cannot use that server directly as it is a normal hardware. Okay, fine. And yeah, this is one prerequisite. JDK or Java. JDK, Java Development Kit, we should install here because without Java
Runtime.
in this, yeah, in this server, we cannot run this Java build or Java application. Fine. After that, we need to download Tomcat server. We should have Tomcat server. Tomcat server can be downloaded from the internet, from its official website. We can download. Tomcat server is not a virtual server, it's not a physical, it's just some like a
Mhm.
folder. That's it. It's very easy. We can just download it. Once you download Tomcat server, you need to deploy this war file inside this Tomcat server.
Yeah.
Flipkart.war. Fine. After deploying this war file in this Tomcat server, we need to start this Tomcat server. Once you start Tomcat server, then automatically your application will get start running.
Mhm.
Application will start running. Yeah, Flipkart. Then we will hand over this environment or server to testing team. They will just test this application by running test cases, and they will just use different testing strategies until they reach zero bugs. They will be testing this. Fine. Once we get the confirmation, once they reach zero bugs, they will confirm the build is stable. They will make announcement. They will send an email. Build is stable. So, and once we get that confirmation, what we need to do, we need to take this build our application, build our application same here. We need to deploy in a production environment. So this
Mm-hmm.
is the production environment. This is another EC2 instance. Open state. Here we need to repeat same things again. We need some prerequisites, operating system here also. We should repeat all these steps here. We should install JDK, then Tomcat, and inside the Tomcat server, we should deploy this flipkart.war file. Then we should start this Tomcat server. Fine. So this is the production environment. Then we will hand out this production environment to client, and our operations teams will be monitoring this. Fine. Here, operations teams will be there, and yeah, they will be monitoring this application for 24/7. Fine. So this is the flow. This is the flow of DevOps, end-to-end flow. Fine. In this flow, developer will write a code. That means development team. This is the code. Also, they should have Git, because if they should install Git in their laptop, in their server, because without Git, they cannot communicate with this Git. Anybody can communicate from Git to Git only.
Yeah.
Even DevOps engineer also. They will just push this code into this repository. Yeah, repo. Here again, DevOps engineer will not be having this coding skills or programming knowledge. No, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
How DevOps engineer will tell to Marvin, hey, Marvin, you just create this war file, or you, after creating this war file, you just store in this particular folder, or you create class files, you just name that file names like this, abc.java or abc.class. So how this guy will, even DevOps engineers, most of the 99% DevOps engineers, even they don't understand this Java syntax and coding. So how we will work means, again, development team only give that instructions to Marvin. How they will give instructions to Marvin? They will write one file like a pom.xml.
Mm-hmm.
By writing this pom.xml file, they will give instructions to Marvin. Then they will push this pom.xml to remote repository. See, this is remote Git, this is local Git. Again, for DevOps team, this is local Git, this is remote Git. So they will push this code into remote Git, and the DevOps team will clone that code from remote Git to their local Git. Fine. So this is a remote Git. Fine. Now, when DevOps team clone this repository, complete data, whatever is there in this repository, .java files, pom.xml file, everything will come here. Then what DevOps engineer will do here, he will only run that Maven command. That's it. He will install Maven and run that Maven commands. After running the Maven commands, how Maven will come to know somebody has given instructions to it in pom.xml file. First, Maven, as soon as DevOps engineer runs Maven command, Maven will read all the files and folders which is in this repository.
Mm-hmm.
Then Maven will identify that by seeing this name of the file, pom.xml file.
Uh-huh.
As soon as Maven see this pom.xml file, it will understand that somebody gave instructions to me. Then it will follow that instructions blindly. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you change this file name, it can't understand. It will not recognize. So that is if you change that, if you want to change that file name, again, you should give instructions to Maven. Hey, Maven, I give instructions in this particular abc.xml or xyz.xml. So Maven, here we will use Maven. Fine.
Uh-huh.
Then you know the process. We will just build, and so just some time back we just discussed this end-to-end process. Now the challenge is development team will have some multiple developers. So for example, our development team has 100 developers.
Uh-huh.
100 developers will be writing the code. Either development team will be writing the new code or they will be modifying the existing code. Am I right?
Correct. Yep.
Always. So
Yeah.
when they will write a new code, whenever they get a new requirements, new features to develop, they will be writing new code.
Yeah.
Then when they will get a request to modify the code, whenever there is a bug found something in a test environment, testing stage or any other stage, so they will be modifying the code to fix the bug. So
Correct.
even they will be modifying in other another situations also and another use cases also, that's okay. But so whatever they do, if they write, either they write a new code or they corrected the code to fix the bug, they should um, push that code into Git repository, right? In
Yeah.
any case, they should push that code into Git repository. Then only if they keep in their laptops, they have no use, no need to
Uh-huh.
work. So, for example, 100 developers are working. Always 100 developers will never work from one place. So
Yeah.
people will be working from different time zones across the globe. Somebody will be working from Mumbai, somebody will be working from Bangalore, Hyderabad, or
Correct.
Chennai, or somebody will be working from USA, Canada, Australia, like this. So just assume that one guy, Tom, is working from US.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Parker, Tom, he really in my project, Tom is there. So Tom is
Uh-huh.
working from USA, so New Jersey. So what Tom will do as a developer, he will be working in US timings. DevOps
Mm-hmm.
team will be working in India timings, IST timings. Just assume
Mm-hmm.
that. Then Tom will write the code and he will just push that code into Git repository, remote repository, midnight by 1 a.m. IST.
Uh-huh.
Then what happens? Then this code will come to Git repository and it will sit idly. That's it. Because
Uh-huh.
DevOps engineer will log in, DevOps team will log in tomorrow morning around 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
IST. So once he log in, once DevOps team, so till that time, this code will be sitting in this Git remote repository, just simply, ideally. Then once DevOps team login, so DevOps engineer will not go directly and clone this repository.
Uh-huh.
As soon as he log into his system or his office network, he will check mails and tickets, Jira tickets, and so based on the priority, you should respond to that mails. At least you should acknowledge the tickets to maintain that SLAs. So all these things he will do first. Then he will attend some daily stand-up meetings on some daily calls. After that, he will just go and see either any new code is there or not. Am I right? Around 11
Yeah.
o'clock, he will just see that code. Fine. As soon as he see that new code, he will clone, and clone means download. He will just clone it and he will build that code. Fine. If everything goes fine, he will just deploy in the test environment. If something goes wrong in that build process, assume that
Uh-huh.
if any compilation error or in any error in that any other build process, so what he will do? DevOps engineer cannot do that. DevOps engineer cannot fix it because he doesn't have that coding skills. He don't have. So he has to contact same developer again. He has to push back that code. He should send an email to same developer
Uh-huh.
Tom. Then when Tom will join, then again
Night.
India time night. Then he
Mm-hmm.
will just work on it and he will fix that bug and he will push his code. Then again tomorrow it will should wait for tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
If everything goes fine, he will just push it to test environment. If something goes wrong, again same story.
Mm-hmm.
So this will never work
Yeah.
because instead of following this method, better we can avoid this DevOps.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason we should automate this process.
Yeah.
So then Jenkins comes into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Jenkins. With help of Jenkins, we can automate this process. So
Mm-hmm.
how can we automate this process? We'll see. Here, we'll install this Jenkins in this server. This will become a Jenkins server.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, there are multiple ways. One is we can ask Jenkins. Jenkins will be used by DevOps team. DevOps team is a Jenkins admin. DevOps team will have complete access on Jenkins.
Uh-huh.
DevOps team can create other users. DevOps team can delete other users in Jenkins. So the Jenkins DevOps team is a Jenkins admins. Fine. Now we can ask Jenkins,
Mm-hmm.
hey Jenkins, you just go and check for every 5 minutes. If
Mm-hmm.
you find any new code, just bring it.
Great. Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
clone it.
Uh-huh.
So otherwise, we can ask Jenkins, hey Jenkins, you just go and check for every 1 hour or every or once in a day. So
Uh-huh.
like that. That means we are asking Jenkins to go and check in certain time periods, right? So
Yeah.
that is the reason this method is called build periodically.
Great. Uh-huh.
But one more thing we should remember here.
Mm-hmm.
Here, always we will be working with Jenkins. If you automate this process once, but Jenkins should work continuously, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
Continuously. Yeah.
Jenkins also is a server. So we
Mm-hmm.
should not give extra burden to Jenkins. We should always try to reduce the burden. We should just reduce the workload. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't know when developers will push their code. Sometimes they will push continuously for every 1 minute, every 2 minutes, they will be pushing. This 100 developers, anyone can push their code. But sometimes even they won't push new code for
Yeah.
1 day, for 2 days also,
Yeah.
but even for half a day. So if they don't push the code into this repository for 2 days,
Why should we check?
yeah, why should Jenkins go and check for every 2 minutes or 5 minutes? That means if we ask Jenkins to go and check once in a day, if same time developers push their code for every 1 minute, 2 minutes, then time will that SLA will be missed.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the reason what we can do. We can ask Jenkins, hey Jenkins, whenever new code comes to this repository, you just go and clone.
Yeah.
So that works fine, right?
Yep. Yep.
So we can just go with that method. To implement that method, we can just if you want to go with that way, there are two methods again. One is
Mm-hmm.
whole SCM, second
Uh-huh.
is webhook.
Uh-huh.
Either we can just go with whole SCM or webhook, both are very easy. It's very easy to implement whole SCM or webhook. So don't worry about that process. Just try to understand the process. The technical steps or stages are very easy.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, fine. Now we'll just go with Polysim or webhook. And in that case, as soon as developer out of this 100 developers, if any 50 developers push their code for every 1 minute, 2 minutes, so immediately Jenkins will go and clone it. So with help of Polysim and webhook, it will come to know
Uh-huh.
if when there is a new code. Then it will give it to Maven. Maven will
Uh-huh.
build. Then again, we will integrate this test environment server with the Jenkins server. This is the Jenkins server actually. We installed Jenkins in this server.
Yeah.
So Jenkins will go and deploy here directly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So without manual intervention. Fine. Once testing team confirms that the build is stable, so there is a zero bugs in the build. So then here we will use, just assume that this also EC2, this also EC2. We will connect this EC2 with Jenkins. That means production environment.
Uh-huh.
Jenkins will go and deploy here also because
Yeah.
same process. Only thing we need to do, we need to connect this server with the Jenkins server and we should tell Jenkins to go and deploy here. Fine. Here, if Jenkins deploy directly after getting the confirmation from testing team, that is called deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Even though after getting the confirmation from testing team, if you want Jenkins to wait for your confirmation,
Uh-huh.
that is called a delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the slight difference between deployment and delivery. Deployment means as soon as testing team confirms, Jenkins will go and deploy directly into production environment.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes DevOps engineer will make Jenkins to wait for his confirmation. So in
Uh-huh.
what cases we will ask Jenkins to wait? For example, before deploying, before releasing this new feature into this production environment, we may need to check that capacity, that means configuration, that
Yeah.
infrastructure configuration is enough or not. Sometimes client will ask us to wait for their approval. So that
Yeah.
time that time we will just go with the delivery. Otherwise, if it is any minor, usually if there is any minor changes, something like that, we will go with deployment. Otherwise, we will go with the delivery. Delivery means just we will check everything and we'll give yes or no. If you give yes, then it will go and deploy. So in this way, we can just automate this process.
Yeah.
And one more thing we should remember from cloning. So forget about this development stage. From cloning, that means Jenkins will clone and build by using Maven tool and it will deploy in the test environment, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
this stage is called integration stage.
Yeah.
Fine. After getting the confirmation from the testing team that the build is stable, we will go and deploy that build in production environment. From test environment to production environment stage is called deployment
Yeah.
or delivery. Since it will be happening continuously without manual intervention, we can call it as a
Continuous.
continuous integration and continuous deployment and delivery. So this process, we can call it as a CI/CD. CI/CD process is very, very, very important. It's the heart of DevOps.
Yeah.
Without CI/CD, we cannot imagine DevOps. Even we no need to use DevOps without CI/CD. Because so the main agenda is we need to automate the process by
Yes.
using DevOps tools. So we can automate this process in this way. And now, I hope you understand this end-to-end process and you understand where we will use Git, where we will use Maven, where
Yeah.
we will use Jenkins.
Yeah.
Fine. Now, here what I will do, there are some challenges here. This is the test environment server, right?
Mhm.
What type of server we are using for this test environment? EC2, correct?
So,
EC2 or any Azure virtual machine or any, this is one virtual machine. Okay.
correct.
So once you get the confirmation from testing team, whenever you want to deploy that application or this one build in production environment, you need to repeat all the steps, right? You have to take one more virtual server and you should repeat all the steps. Again, you need to install OS, JDK, Tomcat server, and
Yeah.
this one. So, but usually one server is not enough. You know that 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 servers we need to use in production environment, even 20,000 servers also sometimes.
Mhm.
So, is it possible to repeat 2,000 times?
No.
No. And you may do some mistakes. Human
Yeah.
errors may occur. So, we should not play with production environment. So that is we should simplify this process. So
Yeah.
to simplify this process, what we can do here, instead of virtual server means again, it can be EC2, it can be Azure machine, it can be Google or GCP machine, it can be on-premises, whatever. We will not use virtual server here. Instead of
Mhm.
virtual server, what we will use, here, one sec. We will use some kind of container.
Uh-huh.
This is container. Container. How can we create container? You know how to create EC2 instance. We can log into console, AWS console. We can just click on that launch instance. We can create this EC2. So how can we create this container? With help of Docker.
Mhm.
Docker is a tool. Docker is a DevOps tool which can be used to create a container. Container
Mhm.
is also a server, complete server, like virtual server.
Mhm.
Whatever you do with virtual server, you can do everything in container.
Mhm.
So there are a lot of advantages in container compared with virtual server. So containerization is the advanced concept of
VM.
virtualization. Yeah.
Yeah.
So virtualization. Yeah. And here, what is the benefit here? Okay, fine. Now, one benefit is in test environment, we will just create one container and we can just follow the same thing here. We can just go with the operating system. As I told you, this is also virtual server, same kind of virtual server. And we'll install JDK, Tomcat, and we will do all these steps as it is. So commands also same because Ubuntu Linux, here also Ubuntu Linux, here also Ubuntu Linux. So we will do all these steps. Once we get the confirmation, we will hand over this container to testing team, and they will do this testing and they will complete. And once they confirm that the build is stable, once they reach 0 bugs, they will inform us. Then what we will do, we will just convert this Docker container into Docker image.
Mhm.
This is Docker image. So what is the difference between Docker container and Docker image? Here, whatever is there, here what is there? Operating system is there, and
Mhm.
yeah, JDK and Tomcat and everything is there now. This war file and everything.
Uh-huh.
Everything will come and store here. This is kind of zip file. So this
Mhm.
image, this is the static one. Whatever is there, it will come and sit here.
Mhm.
It's just like a snap. So this is image, Docker image.
Mhm.
Fine. Once we create this Docker image, we will just store this image somewhere in some registry.
Mhm.
So that registry name is Docker Hub.
Okay. Uh-huh.
That registry name is Docker Hub. Fine, one sec. Yeah. So here, this Docker Hub will have some public images. So anybody can use that public images and private images which you created for your particular project or some
Yeah.
specific project or something. Those are private images. So if you want to use private images, you should, for example, this is Flipkart image.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Once you store this image, you can just what you can do, you can take this image. From this image, you can create containers again.
Mhm.
You can create multiple containers within a minutes.
Yeah.
You can create 1,000 containers in the milliseconds. As soon as you create the container, whatever prerequisites and whatever application is there in this image, everything will come and sit here. This will be creating along with this
Uh-huh.
prerequisites and applications. See, for example, when you create this EC2 instance, as soon as you select any OS image, that means Ubuntu image, this server will be created along with this Ubuntu operating system, right?
Yeah. Correct.
Same way, container will be created along with this prerequisites and applications, whatever is there here,
Uh-huh.
it will be created. That
Yeah.
means you no need to install again. You no
Again,
need
yeah.
to deploy again. So if you want to run your application in 2,000 containers or 2,000 servers, you can create 2,000 Docker containers from this image.
Uh-huh.
So understood?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
image is basically like a prototype or a mold,
Static
and
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
static one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Understood.
you
Yeah.
cannot run the application in the image, but you can create containers or servers
Containers.
from this image, and you can run
Uh-huh.
that application in that servers.
Mhm.
Fine. Now your application is running in 2,000 containers. Fine. Tomorrow, load will be more due to weekend or something. Immediately, you can just increase your containers because within milliseconds, you can create some 1,000 containers again, right?
Yeah.
You no need to depend on any other teams. For example, if you want to go with this virtual missions, 1,000 virtual missions creation will take some time. You should
Correct.
depend on other teams. If something goes wrong, see, due to any reason, servers may go down. You
Mhm.
should you should seek help from other teams.
Yeah.
So that is the reason we will go with Docker concepts.
Mhm.
So this is called application containerization.
Uh-huh.
Fine. Here, again, one more challenge. What is the challenge here is if you run your application in 5,000 containers,
Mhm.
to maintain 5,000 containers manually, it's not an easy task.
Yep.
So you see something goes wrong. If some 1,000 containers goes down due to any reason, so you should monitor carefully and you should bring them up immediately before impacting on the business. For example, if 2,000 containers goes down out of 5,000 containers, what will happen? That load will be routed to that
Correct.
the rest of the 3,000 containers. So application may become slow, or users may experience the slowness, or sometimes it may get crash also. So that is the reason we can't manage manually. That is the
Yes.
reason we will use container management tool. Container management tool or container orchestration tool. Container orchestration tool, just to orchestrate this. Let me. Yeah, container management. So this container management tool is Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
If you create this image with your application and everything, what you can do, you can just give this image to Kubernetes. That's it. You don't need to do anything. You can just in place of, instead of this EC2 instance, you can create Kubernetes and you give this image to your Kubernetes cluster. You can ask Kubernetes, hey, Kubernetes, create 5,000 containers from this image. Then it
Uh-huh.
will create within a milliseconds. The
Uh-huh.
advantage is here. If Kubernetes creates 5,000 containers, in Kubernetes terminology, we will call pods.
Mm-hmm.
Containers are pods. There is a difference between pods and containers. I will just explain when it comes. But now just assume that containers only.
Uh-huh.
The technical name is pod. Okay, fine. In Kubernetes terminology. And if Kubernetes create, even inside pod containers will be there again, Docker
Uh-huh.
containers. So that is a different story. Don't I just want, I don't want to confuse. The same containers only. Kubernetes will create 5,000 containers. The difference is with Kubernetes or without Kubernetes. If you
Uh-huh.
don't use, if you create 5,000 containers without Kubernetes, you have to take care of them. You have to monitor, you have to bring them if any container goes down, right? If load increases, you have to create on your own. You can have to create manually if you don't use Kubernetes. But
Uh-huh.
if you give this image to Kubernetes and if you ask Kubernetes to create this 5,000 containers, if
Uh-huh.
any containers goes down, Kubernetes will bring them up immediately.
Okay. Uh-huh.
If any load increases, based on the load, Kubernetes will scale up. If
Yeah.
load is decreases, Kubernetes will scale down that environment.
Mm-hmm.
If something goes wrong in this deployment, you can
Mm-hmm.
just roll back that changes by using Kubernetes before impacting on the business.
Uh-huh. So is
So
Kubernetes the only tool to create containers from image, or there is another way to
yeah,
like
yeah.
there is
This is a deployment tool. Basically, Kubernetes is deployment tool. We will
deployment
just
tool?
give this. See, Kubernetes, Docker, both are interrelated.
Interrelated.
Without Docker, you cannot use Kubernetes.
It is.
Yeah. So the dependency is there. Now, so they are just searching, they are just finding some solution because Kubernetes is Google product now.
Uh-huh.
So Docker, instead of Docker, they are just trying, but Docker is it will compatible with Kubernetes.
It is.
So yeah, there's without Docker, you cannot imagine Kubernetes. So that is the reason. Yeah, fine. So this is the way, fine. And now you know where we will use Git, where we will use Maven,
Yeah.
where we will use Jenkins, where we will use Docker and Kubernetes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Now, if you want to create multiple Kubernetes clusters, or if you want to create multiple EC2 instances or any other infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
so you can use Terraform. Terraform is an infrastructure management tool.
Uh-huh.
So by using Terraform, you can create infrastructure. If you want to create some 1,000 EC2 instances, you can create in a minute by writing the script, Terraform script. The beauty is if you create this infrastructure, because EC2 instances, servers are part of infrastructure only. So this Terraform will take care about that. Terraform will manage that infrastructure. So that is one thing. And once you create this, let me just write infrastructure. management tool. Fine. Once you create servers by using Terraform, if you want to make any configurational changes, for example, we'll go with simple example. If you want to install Java in 2000 servers, so manually it's very difficult. We can just use Ansible.
Mhm.
So that is the reason we'll call it as Ansible is a configuration management tool.
Cool. Mhm.
Fine. And now, once you create some 1000 servers by using Terraform, you can configure them. You can just make configurational changes, or you can just install required prerequisites by using Ansible easily. Okay, and one more thing, in deployment also we can use Ansible, but this is the basic idea of Ansible. Yeah, fine. And now, this operations teams will be monitoring, right? Always
Yeah.
production environment. For them to monitor, what we can do, we can just use some tools like Prometheus,
Mhm.
sorry, Prometheus and Grafana.
Yeah.
Grafana, Prometheus and Grafana means it will just, we can just
Yeah.
see that stats in graphical manner in a
Mhm.
understandable way. Prometheus will collect all the logs from this production environment, and it will just give it to server, whatever server you want. So
Mhm.
these are the tools we're going to cover.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, AWS, anyway, we need to learn AWS, S3, VPC concepts, and EC2s, anyway, and Elasticsearch, so RDS. So these are the topics we need to learn from here. Mainly, we should learn VPC concepts. VPC concepts are very, very important. And even S3, that is a storage service. So this thing, apart from, so forget about that AWS part, but this is the DevOps end-to-end process. Now, you know which tool we will use this.
Yeah.
Again, what we will do, so throughout course, I will be using this diagram. So for
Yeah.
example, tomorrow if we start Git, so first we will draw this diagram, then you will
Mhm.
understand where we will use Git exactly. Then
Mhm.
again, we will just take this part only, Git part only. Then what we will do without Git, what are the challenges? So with by using Git, what are the advantages we are getting? Why should we
Uh-huh.
use Git? So where Git will come into the picture? So first we will try to understand everything about Git, and
Mhm.
then we will start using Git. So Git is very, very easy. Even Maven also. So this is very easy. So then again, we'll just clone that.
Yeah.
First, we will work how developer will use Git. Then we will work how DevOps engineer will use this Git. So then we will create this test environment servers
Yeah.
and everything. We'll go one by one, one by one.
Uh-huh.
And yeah. So in the now, can we take a break or can we wind up for today?
We can wind up. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if this is everything for today, yeah, we can wind up. It's up to you.
Yeah, because next weekend, so you just prepare for some 3 hours, more, even more than that. Then we will
Yeah.
just go with that. Okay.
Yeah, if you have anything, videos for me to go
I
through
will share.
on YouTube, I'll go through them.
I will share. Yeah, yeah. I will share it to your WhatsApp. And one more thing. G,
I will
you
pay that.
please, yeah, you please share your mail ID and full name in WhatsApp so that I will just
Yeah.
create one. I need to create one user ID,
Yeah.
user account, so that
Uh-huh.
what you can do, we will just store
So,
all these recording sessions in that LMS. Our LMS is, see, this is our
uh-huh.
website. Let me just, yeah, this is our website.
Yeah.
In this website, login option here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just go to this login and see. For example, your user ID, you will be entering your username here and password here. Then, so this is one user ID and password. Just log in. If you go and log in, you will get your course. Yeah, see here. So this guy Venkat Sai Abhishek, this is one. This is he is also a student.
Yeah.
He's just belongs to this. He's from this batch.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So your batch will display here.
Yeah.
Then you can just click on it
Uh-huh.
and yeah, 1 second, it will open. Yeah, here just click on this curriculum. See here, demo sessions, Linux sessions, resume building, how to build a resume, and Git sessions, Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Ansible, S3. So like this, if you open this Git session 1, session 2, session 3, these are the recording sessions. Okay.
Mm.
So this lifetime, for this, I will give lifetime access for my students. So whenever you want, you can just go through these recording sessions. You can just practice. So for example, today recording session will be uploaded to this into this LMS, and you can just go
Mm.
through whenever you want. Also,
Yeah.
apart from that, what from this batch, so from last month, what I'm just doing, I've just recorded all the courses, DevOps tools and everything, real life project also. I will just create one course like this. I will give access to you that even you can just go through that also. From there, I will be assigning that sessions to you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
will explain that. Don't worry.
Uh-huh. And which number should I use for communication? I think there was one more
Yeah,
thing
you can use.
to
Yeah, you can. So today I just
today
sent.
using, yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
the same one.
use same thing. Okay.
And I will also make the payment, in this week only or by
It's okay,
next
sir. It's okay. It's
week.
okay.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. No problem. Yeah. So and we will go one by one, one by one. So we will just clear and as
Yeah.
many projects we can cover, real time projects. We will just do that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I used to do, I mean, very hardcore development
Mm.
during just before the lockdown, we had used Git, but
Mm.
for us it was, very like push pull those
Mm.
commands or UI, that's it. And
No
then, but
worries.
but but still, I've forgotten now. But
No
I
worries.
know, I mean, I use that Git to check in the code.
No worries. We will cover each and everything from here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Nice to talk to you. Yeah.